Your life right now is the sum of your habits, not your intentions, not your goals, not your wishes or dreams or plans, your habits. The things you do every single day without thinking, the automatic behaviors that make up most of your waking hours, the small decisions you repeat so often they've become invisible. Those habits have created everything you currently have. Your health is a result of your daily eating and movement habits. Your financial situation is a result of your spending and earning habits. Your relationships are a result of your communication and connection habits. Your career is a result of your work and learning habits. Everything you have right now, good or bad, came from the habits you've been running for months, years, maybe decades. And here's what that means. If you want a different life, you need different habits. Not just new goals, not just better intentions, not just positive thinking or vision boards or affirmations. Different habits, different daily behaviors, different automatic patterns that compound over time into completely different results. This is the most powerful realization you can have. Your habits are programmable. They're not permanent. They're not who you are. They're just patterns you've developed, and patterns can be changed. You're not a morning person. You have a habit of staying up late and struggling with mornings. That's different. The first statement suggests permanence. The second suggests a changeable pattern. You're not disorganized. You have habits that create disorganization. You're not bad with money. You have spending and saving habits that create financial problems. You're not unathletic. You have movement habits that haven't built athletic capability. This distinction matters because if you believe habits are who you are, you can't change them without changing your identity. And identity change feels impossible. It creates resistance. But if you understand that habits are just patterns you've developed, patterns that served some purpose at some point but might not serve you now, then changing them is just a matter of developing new patterns. You're not rewriting your identity, you're just updating your programming. And that's completely within your control. Second, recognize that habits work through a simple loop. Every habit follows the same structure: cue, routine, reward. The cue is the trigger, something that tells your brain to start the automatic behavior. It could be a time of day, a location, an emotional state, another person, or a preceding action. The routine is the behavior itself, the actual thing you do, the habit. The reward is what you get from it, the benefit your brain associates with the behavior. This is what makes the habit stick. Your brain loves efficiency, so when it learns that a certain cue leads to a routine that produces a reward, it automates the process. It turns the sequence into a habit, so you don't have to think about it anymore. This is incredibly useful for good habits. You don't have to use willpower to brush your teeth because it's automated. You see the bathroom, cue, you brush your teeth, routine, your mouth feels clean, reward, done. But it's also how bad habits form. You feel stressed, cue, you scroll social media, routine, you get temporary distraction, reward. Your brain automates it. Now stress automatically triggers scrolling without conscious decision. Understanding this loop is how you change habits. You can't just stop a bad habit through willpower. You have to either change the cue, replace the routine, or modify the reward. Third, accept that habits change requires intentional design. Habits don't change through inspiration. They don't change through motivation. They change through deliberate engineering of the cue, routine, reward loop. If you want to build a new habit, you design it. You choose a specific cue, something that already happens regularly in your life. After I pour my morning coffee, when I get home from work, right after I wake up. You define the routine clearly, not exercise more, but do 20 push-ups, not eat healthier, but eat a vegetable with lunch, specific, concrete, measurable. You ensure there's a reward, something that makes your brain want to repeat the behavior. It might be intrinsic satisfaction. It might be tracking progress. It might be a small treat. But there has to be something. Then you repeat it. Same cue, same routine, same reward, over and over. Your brain starts to automate the connection. The habit begins to form. If you want to break a bad habit, you disrupt the loop. You identify the cue and either avoid it or change your response to it. If scrolling happens when you're bored, you change what you do when boredom hits. You replace the routine with something else that provides a similar reward. If smoking gives you breaks and stress relief, you find another activity that provides breaks and stress relief. You remove or reduce the reward. Make the bad habit less satisfying. Make it harder to execute. Add friction. This is engineering, not willpower. You're redesigning the systems that create automatic behavior. Fourth, start smaller than you think you need to. This is where most people fail at habit change. They try to change too much too fast. They rely on motivation and willpower instead of systems and automation. I'm going to work out for an hour every day. I'm going to completely overhaul my diet. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and have a 2-hour morning routine. These massive changes require massive willpower. And willpower is a limited resource. It runs out. So you maintain the new behavior for a few days, maybe a couple weeks, then you crack, and you're back to the old pattern. But if you start smaller, you don't need willpower. You need so little effort that you can do it even on your worst day. Don't commit to working out for an hour. Commit to putting on workout clothes. That's it. Once you're in workout clothes, you'll probably exercise. But even if you don't, you've kept the habit of preparing to train. The pattern is forming. Don't overhaul your entire diet. Add one vegetable to one meal. Keep everything else the same, just one vegetable. That's absurdly easy, but it's changing the pattern. It's creating a new vote for the type of person you're becoming. Don't build a 2-hour morning routine. Add one 5-minute practice, just one. Something so small you can't talk yourself out of it. Then let it expand naturally over time. Small habits don't feel significant. They don't feel like they're changing your life, but that's exactly why they work. They're small enough to be sustainable, and sustainability is what creates life change, not intensity. Fifth, use habit stacking to build new patterns. Your existing habits are already automated. They happen without conscious effort, so you can use them as cues for new habits. This is habit stacking. After I do existing habit, I will do new habit. After I pour my morning coffee, I will write 3 things I'm grateful for. After I sit down at my desk, I will write my 3 priorities for the day. After I get home from work, I will change into workout clothes. You're not creating a new cue. You're using a cue that already works, an existing automated behavior, and you're attaching a new routine to it. This works because you don't have to remember to do the new habit. The old habit reminds you. The automation of one behavior triggers the other. And because habit stacking leverages existing automation, it requires less willpower than trying to remember to do something at a random time. Sixth, design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. If you rely on willpower to resist temptation or remember to do something, you'll fail. But if you design your environment so the right choice is the easy choice, you'll succeed. Want to eat healthier? Don't keep junk food in the house. You're not using willpower to resist eating it. You've made eating it require effort. You'd have to leave the house to get it. Meanwhile, make healthy food visible and convenient. Pre-cut vegetables in the fridge, fruit on the counter. Want to exercise more? Put your workout clothes out the night before or sleep in them. You're not using willpower to work out. You're removing the friction that normally stops you. Want to reduce social media? Delete the apps from your phone. Log out on your computer. You can still access them if you really want to, but you've added friction. You have to make an active choice rather than just automatically opening the app. Want to read more? Put books in places where you'd normally scroll. On your nightstand, in your bag, in your bathroom. Make reading the convenient option. Your environment either supports your goals or sabotages them. Design it intentionally. Seventh, track your habits to build accountability and awareness. What gets measured gets managed. When you track a habit, even just with an X on a calendar, several things happen. First, you become aware. You can't lie to yourself about whether you're actually doing the thing. The blank spaces on the calendar show you clearly. Second, you create a streak. After a few days of X's, you don't want to break the chain. The visual representation of consistency becomes motivating. Third, you get data. You can see patterns. I always skip on Tuesdays. I do better when I do it first thing in the morning. This information helps you refine your approach. Fourth, you build identity. Every time you mark an X, you're proving to yourself that you're the type of person who does this thing. You're reinforcing the identity you're building. The tracking doesn't have to be complicated. A piece of paper with dates, an app, a notebook, just some system where you record whether you did the habit or not. Eighth, plan for obstacles and create implementation intentions. You will face obstacles, situations where it's harder to execute your habit. You'll be tired, busy, stressed, travel, sick. Life happens. Most people just hope it won't be a problem. Then, when obstacles appear, they break the habit, and once broken, it's hard to restart. But if you plan for obstacles in advance, you dramatically increase your success rate. This is called implementation intentions. If obstacle, then specific action. If I'm traveling, then I'll do a 10-minute body weight workout in my hotel room. If I'm sick, then I'll at least do the first minute of my routine to keep the pattern alive. If I'm stressed and want to skip, then I'll do half the normal amount.
You're creating a backup plan, a minimum viable version of the habit that you can maintain even when conditions aren't ideal. This keeps the pattern alive, keeps the streak going, prevents the complete collapse that happens when you miss a few days and then give up entirely. Ninth, focus on systems, not goals. Goals are about the results you want. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. The goal is to lose 20 pounds. The system is the daily habits around eating and movement. The goal is to write a book. The system is the daily writing habit. The goal is to build a business. The system is the daily habits around learning, building, and selling. Goals are useful for direction, for knowing what you're aiming at, but they don't change behavior. Systems change behavior. And here's what's interesting. You can achieve goals without being happy. You can hit your weight target and then gain it all back because you didn't build sustainable systems. But if you build good systems, sustainable daily habits, the results take care of themselves. You might not hit your exact goal on your exact timeline, but you'll continuously improve. You'll build a lifestyle that naturally produces the results you want. Fall in love with the system, not the goal. Fall in love with the daily practice of being someone who does this thing regardless of the outcome. 10th, give yourself permission to be bad before you're good. New habits feel awkward, uncomfortable, hard. You're not good at them yet. Your brain hasn't automated them yet. They require conscious effort. Most people quit during this phase because it doesn't feel natural. This isn't me. I'm not good at this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But that awkward phase is temporary. It's just a gap between starting something new and having it become automatic. If you can push through it, Not by being perfect, but by being consistent despite being bad, you get to the other side, where the habit becomes automatic, where it feels natural, where you are the type of person who does this thing. You don't have to be good at a new habit. You just have to be willing to be bad at it consistently. The skill develops through repetition. The automation develops through consistency. Now let me tell you what actually happens when you change your habits. In the first week, nothing feels different. You're doing the new behavior, but it's requiring effort, conscious decision, willpower. Your life looks the same. After 2 weeks, it's getting slightly easier. Your brain is starting to recognize the pattern. It's still not automatic, but it's becoming familiar. After a month, you notice small changes. Not dramatic transformation, but small improvements. You have a bit more energy. You're a bit more organized. You're making a bit more progress. After 3 months, the habit is becoming automatic. You're starting to do it without thinking about it. It's part of your routine, part of who you are, and the results are becoming visible. You can see the compound effect starting to work. After 6 months, your life is noticeably different. Not because of any single day, but because you've run a better pattern 180 times instead of running the old pattern. The accumulated difference is significant. After a year, you're living a different life, different health, different productivity, different financial situation, different relationships. Not because you made one big change, because you changed your daily habits and let them compound. And here's what's powerful. The habits themselves become effortless. They're automated. You're not using willpower anymore. You're just being yourself. And being yourself now produces completely different results than being yourself a year ago produced. So here's what I want you to do starting today. Don't try to change everything. Don't commit to 10 new habits. Don't overhaul your entire life. Pick one habit, just one. The habit that if you changed it would have the biggest positive impact on your life. Maybe it's a morning routine that sets up your whole day. Maybe it's a daily exercise habit that builds your health. Maybe it's a learning habit that develops your skills. Maybe it's a financial habit that builds your security. One habit, the most important one. Then design it. Make it small, absurdly small, so small you can't fail. Choose your cue, something that already happens in your daily routine. Define your routine, specific, concrete, measurable. Make it smaller than you think it needs to be. Ensure there's a reward, something that makes your brain want to repeat it. Design your environment to support it. Remove friction from the good habit, add friction to competing bad habits. Track it. Mark an X every day you do it. Plan for obstacles. Create your implementation intentions. And then do it every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it seems insignificant, especially when it seems insignificant. Because it's not about today, it's about the compound effect of doing this small thing every day for the next year, for the next 5 years, for the next decade. That one small daily habit repeated consistently will change your life, not through magic, through math, through the undeniable reality of compound effect. And once that habit is automated, once it's just part of who you are, you add another one at a time, building a system of habits that naturally produces the life you want. This is how you change your life, not through dramatic transformation, not through motivation or inspiration, through changing your habits, one small daily behavior at a time, repeated until it's automatic, compounded until it's transformative. Your life is the sum of your habits. Change your habits, change your life. Starting with one habit, starting today, starting right now.